Alright, time for a Fiddlesticks game. This will be the first game of my Beginner's Guide series starting for this season. I did one last season and the season before that, so I will be continuing that. This is going to be a low elo game. I want this to be like the representation of what beginners would face as well, so yeah. I'm gonna explain to you everything I can about this champion, how to play it consistently, how to play it as easily as possible as well. We have the runes for that too. Everything from like runes and item explanation will be found on the Patreon. If you want to go for a super in-depth explanation on those, you can find it there. There will be an explanation there for Fiddlesticks. So yeah, if you're like, I will talk through it regardless, but the in-depth version of that will be there, so you are aware. Now, for clearing with Fiddlesticks, the only real thing you have to remember is just never cancel your drain. There are many tricks with Fiddlesticks specifically to have a better clear that you can go and practice in the practice tool if you want to. It's definitely a good shout to do that, but you don't need it. You can do it without, and I will do it without here as well. Now, when it comes to clearing, your W actually does like low HP bait, like execute damage essentially, right? So the lower HP a target is, the more damage your W does to it. So if you have like a low HP red buff, I didn't smite it there. I smited the one here on max HP because this thing will do more damage based on missing health. So that makes that much easier. This is just like an AoE silence hit, and your Q is a fear, which also does current HP damage. So ideally going into a fight, you'd want to Q relatively early on, because current HP, you know, if they're higher on health, you'd want to do that. And then in other situations, you use your like W execute. You try to get them as low as possible, as fast as you can. With 2 points in W here. And we're just going to go for like the standard version of this. I already know that a bunch of Fiddlesticks mains are going to come in here and like, oh, you can do your clear more efficiently. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That is not the goal here. I'll do Gromp before I do the blue buff, because this sets up your next respawn sequence slightly better. With your Gromp respawning earlier, and that way you can just have a nice full clear afterwards. Should be able to do this here with a drain. You can leave it like a little bit low and drag it slightly like that. That pretty much is what your jungle clear is based around. Again, we smite this to get it low. If you are afraid of getting invaded, then there is that, but yeah. Right now, we see this guy pushing up his wave, which may be a possible gank, which is not the case. So we're just gonna calmly wait for this thing. There is the Warwick. Clear him away from me. He's gonna try to run at you. I will not be able to fight this because the Fizz is like low HP. Don't try to greed for a scuttle. There's no need for that. Just fear him away. If you are out of vision, any skill that hits will fear. So in that situation, it'll fear the Ari away, so she can't do anything. We just give scuttle, and now something you want to take note of. I'm not running for this scuttle, and the reason I am not doing that... let me actually buy 2 Emp Tomes. Perfect. You can buy Dark Seal and you can opt to go for a Magi's, but for most beginners that is something I would definitely not recommend, because if you die you lose your Magi stacks and it's just not going to be great. Now the reason I'm not going for the other scuttle here is because it would cost me too much time. As you can see, the respawn timer of this camp here is about 420. A little bit earlier in this case, but about 420 is a good estimate to keep in mind. And then for that, now you can just clear this again. So I'm going to clean these 2 up, and then as you can see here, this is going to spawn in 30 seconds. So if I simply just clean up my bot side right now and just have nice camp tempo, that's all I care about. Like, I would have gone for the other scuttle, right? That was my initial plan, and just recall after that, or just go for the top lane gank, but never try to walk back to a scuttle too much, because it's going to cost you too much time. Now in this scenario here, this Warwick is sticking around on top lane for a very long time, which might actually mean I don't get to do the scuttle or the void grubs like I want to here, because he is really not backing. Yeah, now I have myself set up a double Emp Tome here. So I'm actually stronger than him, but Warwick is a specific champion that is just going to give me a problem situation regardless. There he is doing it. We got one. I just need my team not to be AFK pretty much, and I should be good. I can drain here, I think. I can. You need to try to use your drain after you've used the rest of your stuff. There you go. Perfect. So try to always let them use their CC things first and then drain afterwards if possible. Alright, good. And we end up getting 2. Now, in this specific situation, that Warg really stuck around for these Void Grubs. And he didn't have any items. And this is something to keep note of. A lot of people will do this. They don't have any items, so you can just kind of have an item advantage. I had 40 ability power on him, and I had like level 5 there pretty much too, I believe. So I should be in a pretty strong situation to fight him, right? He doesn't have a back yet, and his Cho'Gath was low HP. As long as your laners have some type of reaction speed, it is completely free. If they don't, well, it kind of sucks, I guess, but... You know, it is what it is at that stage. Oh, this is what happens if you cancel your drain, which I accidentally did there. It puts it on a very long cooldown, which slows down your clear speed tremendously. So right here, we're just doing this, we're resetting, and we are opting to go for Malignance pretty quickly. However, it can afford Sorks here, so I will. Generally, like, you want to build some... Like, if you can afford the Sorks on your first back, you should do it. Because magic penetration on Fiddlesticks is extremely valuable due to, like, damage based on HP. And your ult has very high base damage as well. So magic penetration on this champion is extremely strong. Flat magic penetration, that is. I mean, scale, like, the percentage one as well, to be fair, but... Yeah. As you can see right now, because I just kept the consistency in my clear, this is now respawning, red's respawning. I can get all my camps once again. They're all going to be respawning in a sequence as I'm doing them. So that is going to be very good for me. There is level 6. If you hit level 6, you want to try to look to do something with it as soon as you can. So ideally, if I have like a play here, I would go for the ultimate on it, because you want to use it as fast as possible to get as many kills out of it as possible. However, at this stage in the game, as you can see, I have nothing to really gank for, or to really gank at all. So that Jhin should realistically be walking back, which he may not do. There's the dragon, that's fair, but I can also not do anything about that because of the fact that my entire team is not around, right? They're not in base, they're not around me, there's not much I can do. Okay, try to walk from a distance where you can do this. Go over the wall, fear the guy here. And then start draining. Perfect. There you go. That's it. Always try to come from an angle that they can't hit you from. Or that they can't see you from, sorry. Because then you go into it. And you will have the fear on them instantly. And then you just walk at them and you're good. Now here, I cannot go for this. Because the death timer on Warwick is pretty low. You also want to note the Void Grubs here are going to respawn relatively soon. And my top lane camps, topside camps here are respawning as well. So I'm going to lay a bigger priority of just walking back towards camps I can clear. My ult is now also on cooldown, so I want to try to play around the cooldown of my ultimate when it comes to like aggressive plays. Because if I don't do this, like if I try to play without my ult, I will lose a tremendous amount of my kit, and that's not ideal. If you have all your camps down, you can, but you definitely need to try to play around it as much as possible. As you can see, I hit the E from a distance from where the camp can't see me, so it gets feared, and then my Q will do full damage on it. Because a feared target takes more damage from your Q. So ideally as well, when you're starting a fight with your ultimate, they're going to get feared because they're not going to have vision over you. And then that should fear because of that. And then you could just engage instantly queuing a target or queue another target to fear them instead. Both situations would work. Feared, and then we queue, and then we drain. Ults in 30 seconds. Warwick is going extremely aggressive. He is running in a certain direction. I can't really chase that. I mean, if my Mundo doesn't like run or react to it, then there's not much I can do. Yep, nothing I can do, unfortunately. That's fine. Ults in 10 seconds. Void Grubs are in 5 seconds. I'm just gonna sit here. If he goes for the Void Grubs, I'll kill him. It is pretty much that simple. He might back. Gonna auto attack him, group him close together, so we can hit our cleave AoE. And we're just gonna hit it. And I should be okay. As long as I don't cancel my drain here. I'm also not going to use my Q now, because if the Warwick does show up, I want to have my Q ready to go, if that makes sense. Put them all like relatively low, and then you can just drain them together. It should be fine here. I'm just going to insta-ult and get him to be taking damage the entire time if he wants to trade. I also got all the Void Grubs, but yeah. I insta-ult here because he already, I believe, he ulted over the wall there, I think. So he doesn't have that to CC me, and he has to like close some distance to CC me out of my ultimate with his E. So I can just ult, delete that out, and it should be fine. Actually, this guy's pretty low. What you can do here is you just walk towards this wall. And then all you have to do is just land your E, which is pretty big range. Unless he has vision over me, this should be doable. Just flash, fear him in that scenario, and it's free. You don't have to make it too difficult. Like, if you have ult there, you can ult. But if you have flash there, you simply just use your flash. Just the first thing you do is this, because this is straight targeted on the enemy champion. They cannot dodge it unless they have some type of spell shield. So you just throw it on there as fast as you can. And yeah, in that situation, she's just insta-feared. After that, we silence the guy as well. I mean, CC lock him as much as possible, of course, and then we just start draining. Make sure to walk out of turret range first, though. 29 seconds on ult, so what I'm gonna do here, my intention is going bot lane because they are pushing this in. If I just start Raptors here and clear these two camps down, that should give me enough time on my ultimate. And at that point, I can then look to go for a bot ult off of the timer. If you want to just do another sequence and start up and clear all the way up again because all your camps are up, that's fine as well. But I feel like in this scenario, I will be able to get a bot lane gank off. Ults in 5 seconds. I may have to walk faster now and walk past this camp because of the fight starting. Which is what I will be doing here. Just walk to the wall. Ult over. Very good. Fear him. And just keep hitting him with it. Don't stop moving. Auto attack for the red buff slow. And I don't think I'm going to get him, but I'll try. Nope. He had just a little bit too much movement for me there. If you start draining there, you would lose out on damage potential. Because you can't chase them and your ult's not going to hit them the entire time. Seems like he's stuck around. Can any of them take the turret aggro? Nope, apparently not. Oh, right. I timed it pretty poorly. I might be dead here. Okay, no, not that good. There's enough of a wave, so we just walk back down. I'm very scared against the Warwick, because Warwick is a champion that has a tremendous amount of movement speed towards targets that have low HP. And currently, I am very low HP. So I will be walking as far under my turret as possible to put as much respect on this Warwick as I can. Because this HP pretty much gives the guy 800 movement speed to run at me, and that is a lot of movement speed. So don't want to be dealing with that one too much. Right, so the next item after Malignance is going to be a Shadow Flame. The build I'll be going for is just going to be a linear build you can do every single game, no questions asked. So that's the build I'll be doing. So you can literally just replicate this. There are more variations that I can explain as well with the Patreon thing, as I said earlier. That will be there too. But Shadow Flame is going to be amazing because of the additional magic penetration flat. As I said, flat magic penetration is very good on a champion that has health-based things, like health-based damage. Plus, as well, high base damage on his ultimate, so it's going to do a lot. Now, they might get Dragon here, but as you note, like, once again, both of my bot laners are in base. So I actually cannot really contest the Dragon at this moment in time until they are back on the map. So until they show back up, which is about now, I will not be doing anything. And this guy is just gonna get drained. Fine, good. Okay, I need to be very careful of champions that have any type of CC capabilities on me. So they can cancel my ultimate. Emilio is one of them. He has that little bounce thingy that you just saw, and that can knock me out of my drain or my ultimate. Either situation is really bad for me. Right, so this spots, this is like this spots vision for you. I'm gonna see if the Ahri walks up to the turret to hit it. If she does, I will ult and kill her. If she doesn't, okay, she does. There we go. Out of vision, we ult. Boom. We silence her. She flashed at the correct timing, which is unfortunate for me. I tried to silence her, but the flash was very close. She flash ulted it, so she just gets to survive, sadly. I could have opted to go for the drain a little bit quicker, but in that situation, I wanted to silence, then drain, and I mistimed my silence. So she got the flash there for a split second, sadly. That's a my bad situation. Now, this thing here, I would recommend you to just mostly ignore it. If you have, like, if all your camps are down and you have nothing else to do, you could do it. However, the objective at this moment in time of recording this video, it's pretty bad. So, it's not really something I want to look for too much. My 3 camps on top side here are worth more to me. Plus, I should be able to get my smite upgrade out of this thing as well. Build's going to be soon. You max your W first and your fear second, by the way. You max this second because the damage on this goes up and the cooldown goes down. The fear duration also goes up, so everything is good there. See if I can walk top lane. Like, at this moment in time, everything is down, so I could look for the Herald. That would be an okay situation. So I will probably do that if this guy doesn't show on top lane, which he does there. Plus, the ward just disappeared, so... You see the ward disappear with a dot in the bush here. So we should be able to go for this guy. I don't think I have to ult for this, so I won't, because my ult is more valuable than that. Fear him and just drain him, and he should be dead. There we go. Nice and easy. If you don't have to ult for something, be sure to not ult for something. Always keep your ult for a good place where you need it for. Otherwise, you will be wasting it. Now we simply just start the Rift Herald here. All I really have to do is drain it. It's going to take me a bit longer than it used to, obviously, because of the damage reduction I'm applying here as well. Damage reduction was, like earlier, only for Baron, but now also for Rift Herald, so you just have to hit the eye as much as possible to get the damage you want. Warwick is bot lane. Should be good. Should be a free Herald for me. This guy's doing red buff. And there we go with the smite. That's level 11 for the ultimate as well. That's a big, big power up there. I'm just gonna get this real quick. Guy leashed the red buff for me at this point because he can't finish it himself. Thank you, Fizz, I suppose. Alright, right now we see this. We just go for it. We have an ult up. We can send it completely on this Cho'Gath. So all we do here is we just walk at him. And we start ulting. Out of vision, of course. He is feared, so we want to get the Q on him before we drain. This will mean that it's a single target, right? Like, I don't need to fear another target in that situation. He's already feared of my ultimate. And as I said earlier, if you have a feared target, your Q is going to deal more damage to it. So it deals 25% current HP damage. So I will be using it for that for sure. So I can have more burst on him. And then we drain after to get the execute damage afterwards. Right now, this turret, these second tier turrets, we know the Warwick's bot lane, right? These second tier turrets are worth 700 gold each. So you can easily go for it. You can put yourself into the Herald and move into it, but you can also just not do that and just like walk up to it regardless. I will auto attack this down because this is going to be worth it. And there you see 700 gold for that turret is nice. I am gonna probably die for that though, but yeah, that's still worth it really. I mean, I do give 1,000 gold, which is not too good. I do have a lot of gold, but this turret's worth 700 gold, and I mostly wanted to show that. Also, Warwick is very quick. You can use the Herald by putting yourself into it, and if you do that, you have to click in the correct direction. So use your mouse in the correct direction while you're going into it, and then click to use it correctly. Or, I mean, you could just let it do its dash, and it's fine. Alright, go for this next. Nice Zhonya's next. Get a nice defensive option. Put it on whatever button you like. That you can activate it from. It's gonna be a little bit of getting used to with the Zhonya's for sure, but it's just a very, very strong item on Fiddlesticks. Because you're diving into the enemy team a lot with your ultimate, right? And you want to have a way to survive. With Zhonya's is going to be the best way to do that, really. So it's pretty much a must-get item on this champion, and you just kind of have to get used to using the active item for it. It's not really a replacement for it these days, you know. My damage will be really high. I'm just going to use my ult pretty much off cooldown now. As much as I can, at least. To get engages on the enemy team. Team is grouping together. Spicy. Alright, we just look for anyone right now. My ult will do a tremendous amount of damage, as you will see in a second. Try to put your passive down, or your trinket thing down. Clear some vision, because again, you want to be out of vision with Fiddlesticks ult as much as you can, at least. That's good enough for me. Let's go. Can I Zhonya's in time? I cannot because I got CC locked. Flash and move. But that's why you have Zhonya's. Because without Zhonya's, I would have been dead there. And your Seekers is the Zhonya's active already one time. So you get it one time for free. And then after that, you know, you need the Zhonya's upgrade. But that's exactly the reason why you have Zhonya's. You can go in. Now, obviously, if you get CC locked like I just did, things could get a little bit tricky. Because you could be in a little bit of trouble at that stage, right? But try to just spam it. If they stand on top of you in the Zhonya's, in your ultimate, they take a tremendous amount of damage. Like, it's gonna be a lot of damage. They can't tank that. Alright, again, as we noted on the top side earlier, that turret's worth 700 gold. So this turret's also worth 700 gold, which means that if we kill this, both of us are gonna get like about 350. 338, plus the 25 local. 350-ish, you know. Ult's gonna be back up now, and like this is really it. Like you play around your ult cooldown. Ult's gonna be back up, so we want to look for a move. Look for a movement you can do. Try to use your E for a bit of poke, perhaps it's doable. Sweep here. Ult over the wall. This is going to be a target for me. Dead. Drain here. Dead as well. Perfect. You see damage output's very, very high. We just get this down now. And at this stage in the game as well, my ult's now on cooldown, so I don't really want to look for a more of an active play at the moment. So I kind of just want to look to see if I can now deny the enemy jungler their camps. If you have any type of lead, you always want to try to take the enemy's camps over taking your own camps a bit more, because this will deny the enemy jungler more and will expand your lead in the process. This also sometimes results in your teammates just taking the camps that you have, which is fine. But you want to make sure that you deny the enemy jungler. The more camps you can take from him, the better it's going to be. So after Zhonya's, we simply go for a death cap. It's going to be our next item. Again, you can do this build every single game essentially, and that will be completely fine. Okay, so now currently this guy is dead. Fizz is backing. There is no play on the map I can really go for now. I could solo play for something and use my ult by itself and go in 1v5 against the enemy team or whatever. But I don't really want to do that. So simply right now, I will be using this downtime to clear my own camps. And the moment my team is back on the map, then I will be going more aggressive once again. I will be looking to be more forward and try to deny Warwick's camps, because I do have this lead going for me right now. So I want to look for stuff like that. I can do this camp real quick as well. Smite it before your W does the last tick of its damage, because that's the missing HP tick that you want. My team is doing Dragon, which is fine. Warwick is spotted mid lane right now. Alright, all I'm really doing here is I just want to look for a nice ult engage. Alright, they are running away from me. They are respecting the fact that they can... Okay, that should be working for me, that's fine. That's one. That's knockback there from the Milio. I didn't start Wing because I would have got knocked back instantly anyway. I just want to get my ult position off. She's Zhonya's. I have to run away from this guy because as soon as he walks into range of me, I'm dead. Currently, as Fiddlesticks, I can't do a whole lot, actually. If I can get to one of the camps on the enemy jungler thing, I can do that. Because I can drain it and get my HP back, as you can see. You'll see here. You can climb your HP back up relatively quickly. But you want to make sure that if you don't have like any HP to sustain, definitely be careful. And don't try to over-aggress too much. If your ult is on cooldown, then that will lose you like one of your best engage tools. And Fiddlesticks can fight without ultimate, but it's just not ideal. Okay, bot lane seems to be committing to quite a hefty play. My ult is going to be off cooldown again, and because I did those two camps, I'm actually going to be on relatively good HP once again. So I can look to walk in here. Hopefully. Somewhere, somehow. This is warded, that's unfortunate. That should be fine. Yeah, it's not the best. They actually got to outrange me on that one. Alright, fair enough. Nothing to really worry about here. I just want to back now. Okay, I can't really back now. Use a silence. I need to play on a bit of distance here. I can fear potentially. I still have Zhonya's as well, so I gotta keep that in mind, obviously. He might win here. This is okay. If you win here, that's completely fine, of course. Start draining some minions here for some extra health while you have a little bit of time. You heal more of your jungle camps, as you can clearly see. Like, I didn't get much HP from those minions right there. So that plays a big role. And, yeah. Items here, I would have gone Death Cap. And then if you need the Void Staff, you can go for it. The only reason you would need the Void Staff is if the enemy team has built a lot of magic resist. If you do not need the Void Staff, you can pick a bunch of additional items if you want. You can go Banshees for a bit more defensiveness, or generally other AP items that would fit well. Cosmic Drive could give you more movement speed and ability haste, for example. You know, there are options like that that you can opt for in that last slot if the Void Staff is not required. But in most cases, you can just opt for the Void Staff and it will be fine. But with that being said, that is it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, please make sure to hit the like button below. If you learn anything from it, that would be amazing. you know, try. That's what this is going to be for. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys in the end game stats. Okay, so for the end game stats here, I ended up doing 21k damage, which is very solid amount really. This can add up to be a lot, like a lot of damage in like if you have any type of reasonable team fight, right? In the like 25-minute plus stages, one team fight can give you like an easy 10k damage if you land a good ult, which could happen for sure. But damage here is quite solid. We have true damage here, not too much. We have objective damage at 33.1k. Now in this game specifically, the dragon wasn't like a thing I could do that much. I tried to focus on void grubs for a bit of additional experience, so I can like focus on trying to hit level 6 a bit quicker and just get a better XP tempo overall for Fiddlesticks. If I would be facing a jungler that is less oppressive, so the Warg is a jungler that is extremely oppressive and very, very difficult for me to fight as Fiddlesticks, I would be looking to do dragons when I have an opportunity or when your bot lane has priority. This is stuff you can do, but in a lot of cases, it didn't end up working too well for me, and I just prioritized getting a nice consistent clear of my camps to get a good amount of experience in there. We have healing done at 15.9k, which is the second highest just behind Warwick, which we're both healing-based champions, so that seems about reasonable. Damage taken at 25k. Then we have self-mitigated at another 13k. Gold earned here, though, at 14k. The big one here, right? You can see I obviously have a clear advantage on gold here. And this is due to being consistent with my CS. I had a very consistent amount of CS. I did a consistent like clear of it, right? I made sure to play it in a certain way to where like I play around my ult cooldown when going for plays. And if you do that, just simply that consistently, you will get a very, very good gold income, and you will be able to, well, carry most of your games relatively easily. And then for the runes here, Electrocute dealt 1200 damage. This is a very nice rune to have. It is the highest early game damage rune that is a reasonable pick for Fiddlesticks. And just winning fights with this is very, very nice. You can opt for First Strike. That synergizes really well with Fiddlesticks' kit. First Strike does end up doing more or being more valuable, but it's more tricky to play with. Electrocute is just simply a bit easier. First Strike allows you to, if you get the first hit, you get a bit of a damage, like all the damage you do within that duration, you get a bit of a damage amp on it, which is true damage, but it also gives you gold. So because Fiddlesticks always wants to get the first hit anyway out of vision because of his passive, to fear targets, it synergizes really well with his kit. However, in other situations where you don't get that, if you're just learning to do this, then Electrocute is just much safer. You can just opt for it nice and easy. And it will always consistently proc with enough skills hit. So it will just be good every single time. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it, which is why I took it here. Cheap shot for an additional 500 damage. You can take sudden impact, which works slightly better for your ultimate damage, but cheap shot is consistent because it works off of impairing the enemy's movement, and you have your Fiddlesticks Fear for that, which does that, so it will proc off that damage-wise fairly consistently. And we have Eyeball Collection for the additional AP. Ultimate Hunter here is an important one. Regardless if you're going for the setup here or if you would go for a First Strike setup, you'd want Ultimate Hunter no matter what, because you need to have your ult cooldown as low as possible, and this is also why you rush this item specifically, because it gives a lot of ultimate ability haste as well. So both of Ultimate Hunter and Malignance together will give you a very low ult cooldown, which gives you that ult up as much as possible. And then to make it very easy, we just have Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. This is just a solid amount of ability power in your page that you can use. And yeah, once again, the last item, this large world would have become a Death Cap to amplify a lot of the AP we already had. And then if you need it, you can get a Void Staff, which will be the item you take in most cases. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a Cosmic Drive angle or a Banshees potentially. If you want to be a little bit more defensive about things, that is completely fine. But yeah, that is it for Fiddlesticks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.